Hello my lovelies, how are you, how are we? Welcome back to a new video. My name's Jess. I like to post videos on the internet and have done since I was like, I don't know, off and on since I was like 12. And today's gonna be a knitting video. Honestly, I have not done a knitting video in a hot min. As much as I'm trying to be really consistent with filming and making content, like I want to do more knitting videos. Like I really, really do, because I love knitting and I'm a beginner knitter. I started learning end of last year. And luckily for me, or not so luckily, I've been horrendously ill this week. You can probably still hear it in my voice, but nothing was going to stop me being consistent and doing a video this week. So this video kind of started 5 months ago. Cast your minds back, 5-6 months ago was when I started this project. Only just finished it, and that's not through lack of trying, honestly. If you've been watching my videos, I've been doing a lot of vlogs recently. I've been talking about a knitting project I started and have been working on, and actually the point of it now, the item that I made is a autumn winter accessory piece, so I'm kind of hoping maybe this video reaches like Australia, because I know that it is the colder months in Australia, not so much here. We're actually going through a heat wave right now, as you can probably see with the sun cascading onto me. It's so hot, which is been nice and not nice. It's also a bank holiday right now, so we have an extra day off, and I've just been so ill. I don't want to linger on it too much, but not fun. But yeah, like I said, the only good thing that's come from it really is that I've been finishing my knitting projects. And if you want, I won't hold it off any longer, but yeah, I knit the Sophie hood. Hell yeah, look at that. Oh, I can't believe it, quite honestly. This thing has haunted me for the last 6 months, not because it's a bad pattern, but because of my own thoughts and feelings of it. So I guess I'm just going to go through my experience with knitting the hood. Probably shouldn't have worn a slick back today because I can't really try it on properly, but maybe I will anyway. 2 seconds. Is it chic or is it chic? I don't know. It's way too hot to be wearing this right now, but essentially it's the hood, and then you tie it, and it's long and it's cozy and it's beautiful, and I actually can't wait till it's cold enough to wear this. It's not actually mine. I made it for my girlfriend Rach, but I will probably be stealing it because chances are I probably won't be making another one of these again. Originally I wanted to, that was the plan. I was going to make Rach one and myself one, but after my experience with this, I just don't think I want to put myself through that again, to be quite honest. So I've written some notes on my phone of things I wanted to talk about in this video, actually, just so we're not like completely here, there and everywhere. Just about like my overall thoughts of this pattern now that I've finished it, and now I've had some time to like stew on what I thought about it. If you're someone who wants to do the pattern, or if you're a beginner wondering, should you do this pattern? And then I'm just going to go through the points on my phone and we can discuss it in a little bit more detail, because I had thoughts. Honestly, the whole way through it, I was like, fuck, I can't wait for this to be over. This is taking forever. Like, obviously doing something for 5-6 months is a really long slog, and I'm someone who gets bored quite quickly, but also it's kind of a perfect example of what handmade items and artistry is. Like, it's a slow process, and especially as a beginner, like learning a new craft like knitting, it's so intricate, and I didn't want to mess up, so I was taking my sweet time with it, and we got there in the end. I still can't believe I finished it, honestly, but it was an inner battle for me the whole way through, I think. Okay, so the first point I've written down is you will need an aid to go along with the pattern. There are lots of videos on YouTube. I found it was kind of like the Sophie scarf pattern. It was very basically written and there wasn't much explanation. So this was a note that I had when I did the Sophie scarf pattern. I did do a video on it like a couple months ago if you wanted to watch that. Where I'm obviously very, very new to reading knitting patterns, and petiteknit came very highly recommended, and a lot of people said like you should do that pattern as it was good for beginners, and while I did agree with it, I do feel like there wasn't much explanation in the pattern. The only thing I can compare it to is crochet, like I've said many times before, but if you're new, I'm a seasoned crocheter. I've been crocheting for a long, long time, and then I just decided that I wanted to start learning how to knit, and I felt like a lot of the skills were very transferable. But one big thing I'm actually noticing now compared to crochet, although I don't want to say this is for all knitters because I haven't read a lot of knitting patterns, but I've read a lot of crochet patterns, and I feel like with crochet, the ones that I personally did, there was so much explanation, even kind of like over explanation. And for me personally, I love when there's loads and loads of information and context, and this, like, you now have to do this stitch and then you can go back and it says exactly how to do it. Like, that's what I like. Like, I'm very grateful when it tells you how to do it, even if it's just like a first sentence of how to do it, and then it uses like the abbreviated shorthand for the rest of it, if that makes sense. That's just kind of a personal preference though, to be honest. Like both of the petite knit patterns I've read so far as a beginner were a bit more challenging, but that's honestly personal opinion. And it's very, very easy to find out how to do the stitches and look at visual aids online. But yeah, that was just a point. That was just a personal note. I don't want it to come across like I'm being like, there's not enough information, but like, for me personally, I like to have a lot of information, and it's really not that hard to look it up. So I just counteracted my own point there, but that's my first point. Okay, so the second point I've written down is it's repetitive and I lost interest. Again, personal preference. Everything is repetitive, honestly. Everything will be repetitive, I guess, in a pattern, but I just felt like with this, it was so repetitive that I did genuinely lose interest. So with this pattern, you start at the bottom. So you start at the bottom there, and then you will gradually increase. And then you get to this point, you can see, where you will kind of cast off one of the sides, shape the hood, and then you go back down the other side and then decrease. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. And once I'd done the first half of it, I was like, sweet. And then when I got to the second half of it, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to do this again. Like that was so long. But again, that was personal preference, nothing to do with like the pattern or the design of it. Like, I don't want to seem like I'm really complaining, because I'm not. I think because it took me so long. It took me so long. I was so sick of it by the end of it. It was also my own decision not to start another project while I was still doing this. And I've been dying to start something new for so long that I just got annoyed by it by the end of it. So I'm really glad that I can start something new now. But that was only a small note. Point number 3, I was surprised as a beginner. I did it with minimal mistakes and I am very proud of it. Although it was a bit boring, you get to use a lot of different techniques. And that is kind of like my main note that I take away from this. Even though I found it annoying and repetitive and I was very slow, I'm so proud of this because there are so many different techniques that we use to do this, like increases, decreases. There was a lot more intricate things on this than I thought there would be. Like more specifically, this is where the back of your head is. Like I just think that looks so professional and like classic, and the way the hood is shaped and just fits so nicely on your back of your head, like it is such a gorgeous design and pattern. Like I actually couldn't recommend it enough for that. Like if you want a good bonnet hood scarf combination, like this is gorgeous. Like you will not be disappointed if you make this, quite honestly, because if you're looking for something like this, if you want to buy something like this in the shop but you can make it, I would do it. And like that trumps it over everything for me. The fact that it took ages, the fact that it was a bit boring. I'm so proud to say that I made this because I think it looks really, really cool. And my girlfriend was really happy with it. And it's going to last us like a really long time. And it's really cozy. And like, yeah, I was just surprised I didn't make more mistakes. I think there was a few parts where like I might have dropped a stitch or like it didn't quite match the rest of what I did. But like, honestly, I'm really, really proud of it. And I think it looks really, really sick. And that like, that's like my main point out of it. Like honestly, when I was sat down yesterday thinking about what I wanted to say for this video, like I'm proud. I'm so proud I finished it because I didn't think I was going to, and it looks really sick. It fits perfectly. The shape is gorgeous. We love the color. Like that's it. Like I'm so happy with it. I really, really am. And I would recommend it if you want to make a bonnet, you should get it, honestly. So my point number 4 that I've written down is it's a great way to practice techniques because once you do something, you'll be repeating it for a while. So I'm using my a bad point and a good point and kind of combining them together. It is repetitive, but you are learning different techniques because as soon as you do the different technique or the different stitch or something, or like you learn how to do the increase, you'll be doing it for a long, long time. So like you will learn how to do it. And by the end of it, it'll feel like nothing because you've been practicing it and you've been doing it. And when you get to like a different project, especially as a beginner, like you'll feel more confident. Like by the end of it, I was like decreasing and wasn't even thinking about it. But when I first started the pattern, it was taking me ages. I had to watch so many videos and I was like, oh no, what if I like do the wrong thing? But like by the end of it, I could do it with my eyes closed probably. Not that I tried, but like the point of the repetition, although it was slightly annoying for me personally, you are practicing and that's what's going to make you a better knitter. And again, why I'm grateful that I've done this because I feel so much more confident with the knitting needles now. And with wool, like I felt really, really comfortable in the end, which was something I wanted to work on. And because of the repetitive nature, I was able to practice a lot for a long time. Like I said, I did it for like, what, it's taken me 5 to 6 months, and it's taken me so long basically because I lost a bit of interest and I was just working on it bit by bit, like not even every day to be honest, because I didn't want to do it. And I was just making up excuses because I wasn't interested in doing it, honestly, if I'm going to be honest. But I think slowly practicing and doing it made me better and made me feel more confident with the knitting needles. So that's a good point. And if you are a beginner and you want to do it, like that's a really good reason or point to do it. Okay, the last point I wrote down is it honestly came up perfectly and looks really well made. I love the details and I thought it was a smart way of construction. That kind of ties up everything I was already saying. I'm really proud of it. I think it looks really, really good. Honestly, like I don't know if I would make it again. Maybe I'll wait until the end of the year or like next year or something if I really want it, and then I probably will have forgotten how annoyed I was when I was making it. But yeah, I think it was a good pattern. It was really well priced. Like the construction came together really well. I am really happy with it. The only downsides were from my own personal preferences of finding it a little bit boring and repetitive, and because I'm a beginner and because I'm slow, it took me so long. But sometimes I do feel a bit self-conscious because I see a lot of people on TikTok who share their experiences of being like a beginner knitter, and people seem to be like churning out jumpers like no tomorrow. And honestly, like I don't know how they do it. I sit and I think, how, like what? Like I work a full-time job and like I don't have that many social plans and I still try to fit it in, but like around everything else. But like I just don't know how people like churn it out so quickly. And sometimes I'm a bit like, oh damn, like I wish I was faster, but it's you know, it is what it is, and that's okay. It's meant to be slow, it's meant to be fun, I'm meant to be enjoying myself. I'm not in like a competition with anybody, like it's all right. So those are kind of like my rundown thoughts on this. Especially if you're a beginner, I would recommend this if you want to make a bonnet. Like if you don't want a bonnet, like there's probably no point making it just to practice, like that would kind of be wasteful. I'm trying to be big on only making things I'm actually going to wear, or I'm going to be like gifting to people who are actually going to wear my items. Because when I used to crochet, I used to make a lot of shit that like I'm never going to wear in like crazy colors. So I'm just trying to be mindful with this. So I would say if you want a bonnet or you want to make a bonnet for someone, this pattern is really good if this is the specific style that you're going for, even if you're a beginner. And if you're a seasoned knitter, you'll probably make this so much quicker than I did. Good pattern. Not sure if I would make it again, own personal preference, but those are my thoughts. And that nicely moves me along to what am I going to make next? Well, I've already started because I finished this yesterday and I've already started on something new. So one of my favourite art knit crochet accounts posted this pattern the other day, and I knew straight away I was going to make it next. That was going to be the next thing I made after this. And this was posted by Ava Paula. I think she said like she's not selling it as a pattern because it's not really a pattern. It's literally, well, I'll say what it is first. It's a poncho, and I fell in love because I used to wear these when I was younger, and I think they're super, super cool. I already know that I want to wear it with like jeans or trousers, baggy jeans, trousers, white t-shirt, and then like slouched over or like over a nice dress or something. So essentially the poncho is you make two different panels. You make a front panel and a back panel. The back panel slightly larger, and then you sew them together. But I bought this insane wool from Hobbycraft yesterday, and I've just been going at it basically. How unreal is that? It's gorgeous colour changing. I love colour changing wool. Honestly, it's my favourite kind of wool to work with because it looks like you've put loads of effort in when maybe you haven't. This is the James C. Brett Emotions double knitting yarn, and it's in the shade Connection. So that's how it's shaping up so far. How absolutely gorgeous is that? I'm in love with it. It's so nice. I knew I wanted to do it in a neutral tone, so it would kind of go with more things in my wardrobe. And yeah, I'm loving it. I don't know if I'm going to film the process or not really because there's not much to it, but I've just been waiting to start a new project, and I didn't know it was going to be this honestly, but it felt quite fitting because it's more of like a summer spring piece. I guess we'll be bringing this video to a close now because I've shown you my next project. I've discussed my thoughts about this sophiehood pattern, and yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you're making down below. I would love to know, and yeah, maybe it'll give me some inspiration for what I want to do next. I hope you're having a lovely day, a lovely week, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye!